It's at 11 o'clock on your Monday morning, and happening today, the president plans to sign a major bipartisan bill into law that promises to impact Western New York in a big way. Plus, Western New York parents are now starting to get their children vaccinated for COVID-19. We have information on what to look out for when you take your kids to get their shot. And parents, it's your last chance to take advantage of money from the government. What you need to know about the final round of those child tax payments that could be coming your way.
From the station on your side, Channel 2 News Midday starts now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this midday. It is Monday, November 15th, and I'm Lauren Hall in for Kelly Dudzik. We're going to get to all of those stories, plus a very big night for a local singing sensation who has made it big on so far to the top 13 on this season of The Voice. We'll tell you about his big performance happening tonight. And before we check out the forecast, we want to take a quick look at a few things happening today. First, President Biden is getting ready to put pen to paper and sign a $1 trillion bill into law that promises to help improve infrastructure here in Western New York. The bipartisan bill will pour billions of dollars into the country's roads, bridges, and into expanding broadband access too. New York State will get 13.5 of those billions to fix roads and bridges. We will also compete for a share of $12.5 billion for nationwide bridge repairs, $1 billion to improve highways that were built through neighborhoods, and $7.5 billion for high-profile transportation projects. Also happening today, the jury will get the case in the trial of Joseph Bellstadt. He's accused of killing 17-year-old Mandy Steingasser of North Tonawanda back in 1993. The 3-week-long trial saw dozens of witnesses. We are told the jury will begin deliberating today. If convicted, Bellstadt, who is now 45, faces 25 years to life in prison. Well, most people woke up to a little dusting of snow outside this morning. We're going to take a live look over Salamanca now from our casino camera, where things are looking pretty white, like they're still coming down there. Definitely more than a dusting. Snow has been coming down all morning there. We see Storm Team 2's Patrick Hammer is live up on the rooftop where things are dry for now. But how's it looking so far up there, Patrick?
Yeah, that's what it looked like across the South Towns. You know, at 3 in the morning, most people were probably asleep, but it was heavy in some areas this morning. Some totals for you that we'll show you, Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, looking forward to that, Patrick. Thank you so much. New this morning, a 20-year-old Allegheny County man is facing several charges following a deadly crash in Genesee County. It happened on Friday afternoon and involved an apparently stolen vehicle from North Tonawanda. New York State police say 20-year-old Brennan Dean was speeding on Star Road in the town of Pavilion when he hit a utility pole. His passenger was thrown from the car and died at the scene. The passenger's identity has not been released. And on top of manslaughter and theft charges, troopers say Dean was also charged with trying to leave the scene. They are continuing to investigate. Ellicottville schools are on remote instruction today and tomorrow. The district made the decision due to the rising number of people at the school who've tested positive for COVID-19. After-school activities and sports are also canceled. Meals will be delivered to district residents both days, and non-resident families can pick up meals between 11 and 1 each day at the elementary school. Ellicottville Central is one of the districts hosting a vaccine clinic for students coming up this weekend, and thousands of kids all over the state are beginning that vaccination process amid the rising number of cases and hospitalizations. On Friday, the numbers here locally were the highest we've seen since April. Twice as many people were in the hospital at the end of last week than a year ago at this time, but only half as many people are hospitalized today than when Western New York reached its peak hospitalizations on December 20th of last year, with 548 people in the hospital sick with COVID. According to the state, 50,000 kids under the age of 12 have gotten their first dose of the vaccine as of Friday, and we heard from some parents and kids about their experience at one clinic in Amherst over the weekend. Governor Kathy Hochul announced Saturday that 10 of New York State's mass vaccination sites will now be giving COVID vaccines to those newly eligible 5 to 11-year-olds. And on that list is the one at UB South Campus. We have a link on our website with details on how to make an appointment. In other news, new research suggests that Americans are still planning to be cautious of COVID during holiday celebrations this year. Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center conducted a survey of more than 2,000 adults in the U.S. Half said they plan to ask their guests to wear masks. Nearly three-quarters said they plan to only celebrate with members of their households. 50% said that they will be asking their guests about their vaccination status, and 46% will require unvaccinated guests to test negative for COVID-19 before attending their gatherings. There's also concerns about travel disruptions during the holidays, and that's why Southwest Airlines is offering flight attendants and other workers incentives to try to keep things running smoothly. According to an internal memo, flight attendants, pilots, and operations employees could receive up to 120,000 frequent flyer points. Southwest is also offering triple pay to ground employees for working Thanksgiving and Christmas, and double pay for overtime shifts during the holidays. Well, ahead on midday, you have seen the prices slowly going up at the gas pump. Now they're at a 7-year high, up more than $1 from a year ago. Can something be done to get them under control? And later, Meeting the Moment will take you behind the scenes with the newest Muppet on Sesame Street. We will be right back.
Right now on Daybreak, sitting stagnant at the Tesla plant in South Buffalo. Why the state is stepping in to figure out why millions of dollars worth of equipment is still being unused.
Plus, just days away from early voting, we are taking a look at both Buffalo mayoral campaigns and the apology one candidate is looking for this morning.
And rolling the dice and losing, we're taking a look back at the Bills versus Titans as the Bills fell short by 3 points.
From the station that's on your side, you're watching Channel 2's Daybreak.
Good morning. It's just about 5 o'clock on Tuesday, October 19th, and I'm Lauren Hall in for Melissa Holmes.
And I'm Pete Gallivan. We'll have those headlines coming up, plus a popular and historic trail getting some much-needed cash.
And how a grant will make Rhinestone Woods trails more informative and accessible this fall. But first, we're going to check in with our Patrick Hammer for the weather, and we just solved all the Bills' offensive problems.
In a commercial break. Yeah, we commercial break. We figured it out.
We all were disagreeing, and then we all came to a conclusion.
We got to get to the defense in the next round.
Who needs Vic and Adam when you got the three of us? We're going to hear from them, by the way, with analysis of the game from the people you really want to hear it from.
Patrick, thank you. We're going to start off this morning with some developing news out of the Tesla plant in South Buffalo and the millions of dollars worth of unused manufacturing equipment that has just been sitting there.
And now the state is stepping in to ask why and figure out its next steps for that plant. Daybreak's Danielle Church brings us the latest. Good morning, Danielle.
Hey, good morning, guys. Taxpayers probably aren't going to like hearing this.
It is 5:03 on Daybreak, and this Saturday, early voting begins, and the race for City Hall is heating up. The state Democratic Party is now apologizing after its chair, Jay Jacobs, drew a comparison to India Walton and former KKK Grand Wizard David Duke.
Even though India Walton won the nomination in June, the state party has not endorsed her yet. And when asked about this, Jacobs said that the state party doesn't necessarily endorse a candidate just because he or she wins a primary. He also added that then they would have to endorse David Duke if he moved to New York and won a Democratic primary.
However, the New York State Nurses Association has endorsed India Walton. The association says that she is using her nursing background to inform and address critical issues that impact health care. Walton has also received endorsements from at least 8 other elected officials, unions, and organizations.
Meanwhile, Mayor Byron Brown continues to stay busy. Developer Douglas Jamal held an event for his campaign last night. The Touchdown for Byron Brown football-themed fundraiser was held at Seneca One prior to the kickoff of the Bills game. Jamal has been a vocal supporter of Mayor Brown since the primary and has been working to mobilize fundraising and voters.
5:04 now on Daybreak, and it looks like 2 Western New York airports are getting some extra money. Governor Kathy Hochul announced that the Buffalo Niagara International is set to receive $1.3 million to help purchase and install emergency generators. This comes as part of nearly $21 million in state funding for airports around New York. Also getting money, Wellsville Municipal, another Western New York airport. They're going to be getting $200,000 for services and equipment as well.
Check out this story. The Preservation Buffalo Niagara Receivership Program showed off the power of its ability to help save historic buildings in the Western New York region. This program started last year as a way to give judges an alternative to demolition for historic properties that are in states of repair. The buildings are given emergency repairs by the receivership program, with the total amount then placed on a lien on the house. And if the landlord does not or cannot pay, the house is foreclosed and put up for sale. That's exactly what happened at this home on Cottage Street. In other news, well, it wasn't the outcome Bills fans were looking for. The team fell by just 3 points to the Tennessee Titans last night, losing 34-31.
And it all came down to the last play. A controversial call on this one. The Bills making one final push to get that win. 4th and 1, 22 seconds left in the game. Head coach Sean McDermott made the call to go for it instead of kicking for the field goal to tie the game up. But the Titans defense held strong. Josh Allen could not push it through. So with that, we want to ask you, in that moment, what would you have done on 4th down? Go for it or kick the field goal? We have a poll up at WGRZ.com, and we will be checking the results throughout the show. But right now, we're going to hear from Channel 2's Adam Bonini and Vic Carucci. And right now, 67% of you are saying kick the field goal. Only 33% saying go for it. Yes, hindsight is 20/20, right? That poll is up at WGRZ.com, and we'll continue to check in throughout the morning. Grab your phone and chime in.
You got to go for it. Maybe you lose this game, but that kind of mentality puts you in the position to win down the line, I think.
And also confidence in your guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean McDermott saying, Josh, I put all trust in you.
Right.
I like the call.
I did too. I thought maybe kind of a conservative play call there, maybe go on the outside in, towards the first down of the touchdown.
How many times does Josh Allen not get that?
I was going to
know,
say, and it's like, if
exactly.
you're watching it, it's like, how was that not at least one?
The guy's 7'8". All he's got to do is fall down.
He did a full split, How did that not count?
All right, let's take a look. Yeah, clearly that plant foot slipped a little bit.
They hope lawmakers don't rush development decisions.
We have some big news for local college basketball fans. St. Bonaventure is starting the season in the rankings. The Bonnies are number 23 in the preseason poll. That's their first appearance since way back in 1971. A huge help is that all 5 starters are back this year. The Bonnies open the regular season at home against Siena on November 9th.
All right, congratulations. And tonight, the Buffalo Sabres will look to keep their hot start alive. They'll welcome the Vancouver Canucks at KeyBank Center. Vancouver has only won 1 of their 3 games so far. The Sabres are expected to have the same lines as Saturday's win, with Craig Anderson actually back in net. Puck drop tonight, 7 o'clock. And it is 6:37 now, and this morning it tastes more bitter than your morning coffee. The Sabres came so close to winning a wild game on Monday Night Football, but instead they'll head into the bye week on a disappointing note.
The Bills, of course.
Yes.
Not the Sabres.
Did I say the Sabres?
Sorry.
That's the
all
Bills,
the
the other. So one Buffalo, one Buffalo.
Well, we want to hear how you feel about the Bills' last play. You can vote right now on our mobile app. Would you have kicked the game-tying field goal, or do you agree with the call to go for it? We're going to check on the results in a minute, but first, our Ashley Holder has more from the players and their thoughts from Nashville.
Good morning. Well, it ended in heartbreaking fashion, with Josh Allen and head coach Sean McDermott deciding to go for it on 4th and inches with 21 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Ultimately, the Tennessee...
I'm not going to stop till I find out who did this to my sister.
Right now on Daybreak, we are learning more about the woman whose body was recently found in Chautauqua County, as her family continues to search for answers.
Plus, a group of local lawmakers are speaking out about an environmental amendment that will be on the ballot in November, what they want you to know about Proposal 2.
And the Bills are back on the field getting ready for Monday Night Football in Tennessee. The latest from practice and the team's take on what to expect this year from the Bills-Titans matchup.
From the station that's on your side, you're watching Channel 2's Daybreak.
Good morning, 6:31 on Friday, October 15th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Hall in for Pete this morning.
And I'm Melissa Holmes. Good to have you here, Lauren, on this Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. We'll get to our top stories in just a minute, including a court case that could affect anybody that plays daily fantasy sports.
Okay, so not me, but before that, we're going to talk about what's in the forecast. Are we betting on the rain today?
I think so, later today. I love football more than anybody. I don't understand fantasy.
I'm on the phone with Jay talking about my fantasy sports sports lineup, and you're just.
I'm like, I'm
What is
just,
she talking
It
about?
is so over my head. I look up and I still can't see it. But I know it's a thing, no doubt.
All right, sounds good. Patrick, thank you. 6:33 now on Daybreak. And first this morning, we're following up on a major story. As we reported last week, one of the sets of remains found in Chautauqua County has been identified as Marquita Mull, a 50-year-old from Buffalo.
2 on your sides, Leanne Stuck spoke with her sister and the Buffalo police, who are all desperate to find out what happened to her.
Less than 3 weeks out from Election Day. And now we're getting a look at the stamps that Mayor Brown's write-in campaign ordered last month. They'll be distributed to voters leading up to the election. We've previously reported that you are allowed to use a rubber stamp to write in a candidate's name. Stickers, however, are not allowed on the ballot. And when Election Day comes around, all New Yorkers will have a few statewide ballot proposals that they need to vote on as well.
Now, a group of advocates and lawmakers, they were here in Western New York. They're trying to get the word out about one of those proposals. It's Proposal 2, and it would add a line to the state constitution reading, "Each person shall have a right to clean air and water and a healthful environment." Their hope is that this would force lawmakers to consider the environmental impacts of each decision they make.
They're going to have to, and whether the decision will violate that right.
The ballot proposals will be on the back of your ballot on Election Day. So once you're done voting in the other races we've been following, be sure to flip it over and vote on those other important state issues too.
New York's highest court is trying to decide if daily fantasy sports are legal in this state. The Court of Appeals has scheduled more arguments in the case that's centered around the question of if it counts as gambling, whether it's a game of skill or a game of chance. 2 lower courts have ruled that the state legislature was wrong to call it a game of skill when it allowed daily fantasy sports in 2016, meaning it could only be legalized with an amendment to the state constitution.
It's 6:37 now, and we are celebrating Western New York with a very talented Western New Yorker hitting the stage tonight, Cami Clooney. You may remember she competed on The Voice here on Channel 2, made it pretty far in the competition, but you may not know that she's also a triple threat. We caught up with her for her next adventure, which starts this weekend. She's appearing as Val in A Chorus Line with O'Connell and Company at the new Kenton Commons Theater. Cami's excited to be back on stage to perform in a musical for the first time in years, with aspirations of making it to Broadway someday.
And it feels so amazing to be back on the stage. Musical theater was always of things I want to do.
Cami also shared that she's got some original music in the works. She'll be releasing a single and her first music video in the next few months. You can catch Cami Clooney in A Chorus Line starting this weekend through the 31st.
Oh, break a leg, Cami. Good luck. It is 6:38 on Daybreak, and turning now to the Buffalo Bills and some good news ahead of Monday night's game. Linebacker Matt Milano was back at practice yesterday. Milano missed Sunday night's win at Kansas City with a hamstring injury. Head coach Sean McDermott says it's still day-to-day in terms of whether he actually will play, but crossing our fingers for that one. Coincidentally, last year Milano was also out for the back-to-back Kansas City and Tennessee games.
So strange. Both of those games had tough results for the Bills, and that's not something they're willing to forget just yet. Here's what Josh Allen's take. Here's his take on what to expect from the team this year.
They came out last year and
Well, they say you have to have a short memory in sports, but clearly Allen hasn't forgotten what happened week 5 last year. Sounds like someone's been watching some tape from that game.
All right, Patrick's up on the roof right now. Boy, I love these primetime national games, but it is not good for a daybreaker schedule.
No.
Gonna be super tired Tuesday morning. Lots of people calling and saying,
like a 7 p.m. game would be nice, 8:30.
Or just take the day off like Melissa did.
Planning ahead. It was very smart thinking.
I got better things to do, like watch Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. Anyway, yes.
Back to you, Melissa and Lauren.
Dave, thank you. It's 6:48 now, and it's time for the Daybreak Rundown. And after days of searching Niagara Falls, Park Police say the search for the missing 15-year-old boy who slipped into the lower Niagara River has now turned into a recovery mission.
That 15-year-old boy has been identified as Cameron Stenzel. Authorities in Niagara Falls, Canada, say they have found the body of a male near Niagara-on-the-Lake. So far, we cannot confirm that this body is the missing Sanborn teen. But Park Police say they will continue searching into the weekend, and then they will reevaluate their efforts. Our other big story this morning is the latest on legalizing marijuana and the distribution of it.
The pitch for a cannabis growing facility in South Buffalo appears to be moving forward, with the developer in charge of the project submitting his plans to the city. Daybreak's Heather Lee is in studio with more on this new plant. Hey, good morning, Heather.
Hey there, Lauren and Melissa. Good morning.
Right, again, it's not a for sure, it's just a chance. And then drier weather as we head into next week. But yeah, today is it for 7 days.
You know, I'm the only person who can kill a mum, so at least I'll get the watering from Mother Nature.
Okay.
That was a dark turn.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Have a great weekend.
I like your mom.
Rooftop Weather is sponsored by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. Nothing else comes close.
Right now on Daybreak, nearly 2 full weeks into their strike, the CWA and Catholic Health continue to search for common ground in contract talks.
Plus, as other hospitals see their caseload increase, some are now being stretched to their limits.
And still riding high from the win over the Chiefs, Bills fans are keeping the celebrations rolling into the middle of the week.
From the station that's on your side, you're watching Channel 2's Daybreak.
Good morning. It is 6:30 now on Tuesday, October 12th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Pete Gallivan.
And I'm Lauren Hall in for Melissa Holmes this morning. We're going to get to all of your top stories in just a minute, including potential travel issues for anyone hoping to head to Nashville this weekend for the Bills' next primetime matchup.
But before we think that far ahead, every time we show video of the celebrations on Chippewa, it's a sign of age, I realize, but I'm looking through that for my kids. I'm like, please, Ben, don't please show up. Please don't show up.
You were supposed to be home.
So I didn't think about that, because your son, he's known to be gallivanting across the...
Gallivant?
Yes.
That's funny. I guess I got to look forward to that.
I mean, they're both huge into the Bills. And they like the Bills parties.
Yeah, and I think half the city's going to show up in Tennessee, right?
Patrick, thank you. 6:32 now, and first this morning, the CWA strike against Catholic Health is entering day 12. Last night, CWA union representatives told 2 on Your Side that the union and Catholic Health once again spent the day bargaining over a new contract, but so far, no deal has been reached. The 2 sides remain split on issues of pay and staffing, among other items, and we're also starting to see the impact that the CWA strike is having on other Western New York hospitals now.
With operations limited at South Buffalo Mercy, patient levels are reaching record levels elsewhere. And Daybreak's Leanne Stuck has more of the details this morning. More on Daybreak, and happening today, we're going to be getting a better idea what the future holds for the former Rainbow Center Mall in the Falls. This afternoon, the USA Niagara Development Corporation will hold a public meeting to give updates on the project. The group aims to redevelop a large portion of the mall, creating more commercial space and walkable areas. They'll be joined by representatives from the city of Niagara Falls, as well as the architects involved in the project.
Business investors trying to redevelop the old AM&A's building in downtown Buffalo are now behind on payments for a property in Niagara Falls. According to our partners at Buffalo Business First, Metropolis Properties Management owes more than $10,000 in back payments to the Niagara County IDA for the St. Mary's Manor redevelopment. The $25 million plan was for the Chinese investment group to build a 4-star hotel at the manor.
The troubles continue this morning for Southwest Airlines after thousands of flights were either delayed or canceled. The airline is blaming staff shortages, bad weather, and air traffic control issues. But the FAA has denied those claims. Experts we spoke with say if you're traveling soon, try to get early flights so there are more options throughout the day if you do run into issues. With fans expected to travel this upcoming weekend, we reached out to Southwest to see if Bills Mafia would be having any trouble to fly to Nashville. And a spokesperson for Southwest tells 2 on Your Side that they're working to restore their network, and they look forward to welcoming football fans this weekend. And speaking of Bills fans, their excitement is still riding high after Sunday's big win. From the airport to Kansas City to the Chip Strip, and even in your living room, we heard from fans all over Western New York and beyond about how they celebrated.
And the co-founder of Bills Mafia and owner of 26 Shirts was rocking his Victory Monday shirt all day long.
So great to be able to.
We also heard from the Bills fans known as the Chefs, who hosted their own private party Sunday, who are never losing sight of hope for this team.
Love those
All right.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
we couldn't hear from them there, unfortunately, but they're always, I mean, they have been down there right on the front row at Highmark Stadium for years and years in their chef hats with their spoons. They're always cooking something up.
Super fans. And if you saw Claudine's piece yesterday, Claudine has already picked out her chair in their man cave for Monday night's game.
That is a serious man cave.